My final thought is this. The question for Republican voters in this primary is who stands the best chance and who stands in starkest contrast of beating Paul Hodes. Because we cannot afford to have Paul Hodes as the next United Senator from New Hampshire. United States Senator from New Hampshire. Right? Agreed? Right. All right. So if we agree on that proposition, because, you know, Paul Hodes wants to go down the road of bigger government, more spending, more control. Paul Hodes was upset about the Obama health care bill because it didn't have federal funding of abortion, because it didn't have the public option. Paul Hodes is a big-time liberal who looks down his nose at you and me, particularly me. You and me. He thinks if you oppose or criticize the health care bill that was working its way through the Congress last year, you were members of the Flat Earth Society. That's what he calls us. Because he knows better. That's that kind of arrogance that Paul Hodes and his liberal fellow travelers have. They think they know better than the people. I say, wrong, Paul. The people know better every day of the week than the elected officials. There's nothing about being elected that makes you smarter or anything else. And you need to understand this is about becoming part of a serving class, not a ruling class. Paul Hodes is part of the ruling class. Now, let's get the starkest contrast to Paul Hodes, and that would be me. Nobody in this campaign is anywhere to my right, I can assure you that. Paul Hodes will try to run to the right of the candidates who are the other nominees, the other candidates who seek the nomination and would be the nominee. For example, watch this. And by the way, you won't recognize Paul Hodes when he starts running for U.S. Senate. I guarantee you. Paul Hodes already has an A rating, by the way, with the NRA. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do believe that.
Because of the way he's voting. He's purposely voting in a way to keep an A rating. So watch what's going to happen. In a debate, if Kelly Ayotte's our nominee, Paul Hodes is going to say, Kelly, you're wrong, and you're soft on guns. And she's going to say, what do you mean? He's going to say, I have an A rating. I would have supported the expansion of Castle Doctrine, which you opposed when you were Attorney General.
That's right.
Then she's going to say, well, and she's going to say, well, Paul, I'm for private property rights, and you can't be if you supported Obamacare. He's going to say, are you kidding me, Kelly? You were the Attorney General who advocated that the governor and the legislature take $110 million of private money paid for by doctors through premiums to create the JUA, which is the Medical Malpractice Insurance Fund. And you're not the governor's lawyer or the legislature's lawyer. You're the people's lawyer as the Attorney General. Where were you to protect the people from the government seizure of private money? That what the Supreme Court in New Hampshire found to be unconstitutional. Kelly, when it comes to representing and protecting private property rights, I am more conservative than you are. And she's going to say, well, Paul, you know, you were an earmarks king. You had hundreds of millions of dollars of earmarks. He says, well, Kelly, that's interesting, because when you started running for office, and Skip Murphy can verify this, you were asked, what's your position on earmarks? And Kelly was said, in response to that question, I'm for earmarks, so long as they're transparent. Now she says, I'm opposed to earmarks, and you know what? Paul Hodes says he's opposed to earmarks too. And he's going to say to her, we both had an election year conversion. Welcome to the recovery unit, because now we both agree. Earmarks are bad. And there are other examples that we can point to where there's going to be a blurring of differences. I know Paul Hodes. I've litigated with him. He's a plaintiff's lawyer, and he will game the system and the facts. He's gonna try to paint me as a right-wing whatever, you know, extremist. The people who know me know I'm not. Like, we were reasonable, and I'm not as, and Warren's introduction suggested that. I have worked in the community, in private charitable organizations. I've been the head of the Boy Scouts, the head of the first credit union in the country, St. Mary's Bank. I work with Catholic Charities and CASA. People who know me from since 1996 know that I am not an extremist. And so I will present the best contrast to Paul Hodes, and I can't wait to debate him.